Container gardening is a wonderful way to garden. And I'm going to share some tips with you so that your container plantings are going to shine all summer long. All right, here's my first tip. Choose the right container. Now, certainly you can use almost any container, but they each have their pros and cons. For example, these great composite resin containers, you can find these at most landscape centers and home centers. And they are wonderful, except don't buy the cheap ones. They won't stand up to the sunshine, and they also won't deal very well with freeze-thaw cycles. Terracotta, classic, certainly more durable. But these freely evaporate, which means you're going to have to do more watering with them. Ceramic containers. These are gorgeous. They come in so many different finishes and shapes and sizes, but they're heavy. So if you're going to need to move your plantings around, consider that before you plant in a ceramic container. So no matter which container you choose, make sure it's large enough so that your plant's roots can spread out nicely, and that means less watering. If you go for a ceramic or a terracotta pot, make sure it has a drain hole. If you buy a resin pot that does not have a drain hole, you can easily drill one. After you've got a drainage hole, to prevent the soil from leaching out and to allow your plant roots to drain freely, you want to cover that drainage hole with something like landscape fabric, or you could use plastic window screen. You could use gravel, pot shards, rocks, whatever you use. The point is to make sure you don't have waterlogged soil and that everything can drain freely. When you're choosing your plants, choose plants that share the same light and moisture levels. So if I'm making a shade container, obviously I'm going to choose plants that all thrive in low light conditions, like all of these. However, not all of these plants are going to work well together in the same pot. Some shade plants like it on the drier side, like this Rex begonia, while other shade plants, like this fuchsia, like their roots to be kept consistently moist. You can tell a lot from the plant label, but not always. Sometimes it will tell you what their moisture needs are. But if it doesn't, when you get the plant home, do a little online research. Don't use regular garden soil in your containers. It's too heavy and full of clay, and that means waterlogged soil and soggy roots. Instead, use potting soil designed specifically for containers. I use a mix that contains water-absorbing granules. These granules release the water gradually back to the plant roots, which means less daily watering. One last thing to keep in mind is that container plants are heavy feeders, so you're going to want to be fertilizing every 2 to 3 weeks. I like to use a fish emulsion fertilizer. It's an organic fertilizer that's easily absorbed by plant roots, and it won't burn the plants. That's it. You're going to have beautiful plants all summer long. Happy gardening.